everybody, and welcome to Hanson Stadium tonight. Dixie College plays host to the Scottsdale Community College Artichokes. Mike Sandberg and Larry Swenson with you, bringing you tonight's telecast. We hope you enjoy it. And Larry, the Rebels come in at 2-0, and the Artichokes have split a pair of games at 1-1.
Yeah, Mike, Dixie went down to Arizona last week and played Phoenix and come away with a, I believe, 33-13 victory. Fine performance down there, and we'll go over some of the numbers a little bit later once we get into the ball game. Great offensive show down there in Phoenix.
So Dixie, this is their second game on this field, and the field looks pretty good. It looks brown on the television probably, but there's plenty of grass out there. The grass held up really well last week when we talked about the new field, and I think it made its debut pretty well there.
Yeah, it did. It's that real short, fine Bermuda grass, and it's a real fast track. The players love to play on this field.
Inouye with the kick, and we're underway here. The Artichokes will take it at the 4. And Dixie last week had trouble with the special
taken
teams,
by number 2, Terrell Cameron from the yard line.
Tackle him up at the 28, so 1st and 10 for the Artichokes, and Dixie will go out on defense. Terrell Cameron was the return man.
Mike, last week Dixie against Phoenix was very strong on defense. The numbers show that they were very stingy on yardage, passing and rushing, and didn't give up much to the Phoenix team.
Yeah, they only gave up 120 yards in total offense. They forced 6 turnovers, but Dixie gave up 3 fumbles on their own. There's a nice run right up the middle. That's going to be 1st and 10. Number 22, Ja'Cory Jacobs. He's a sophomore from Marcos de Niza. But that was a solid run right in the heart of the defense.
Yeah, they busted that off tackle, and he just kind of juked out and cut back in and ran for 14, 15 yards there right off the bat.
So they'll go 1st and 10 from the 44, 43. Last week down in Phoenix, Tony Jones, we'll see a lot of him tonight. He rushed for 201 yards against Phoenix. So when Dixie's offense comes out, Tony Jones is someone to watch. And we have another left-handed quarterback, number 8, Tyson Smith. He's a freshman for Scottsdale. And they had a good win last week. I think it was a 1-point win. They actually beat New Mexico Military 22-21. So they come in splitting a pair. This conference, we've talked about the SWAC here. 4 of the top 12 teams in the country are in this conference. Dixie leading the way. They have slipped from number 1 to number 2 with a victory. Figure that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I read that in the paper and I seen that. You never know, that 1 and 2 spot they could juke back and forth all year long. So as long as we keep winning and win impressively, we won't slip much farther than number 2.
I think so. There's a good second effort by Terrell Cameron. He got the initial contact but shook it off. Picked up about 5, maybe 4. They call it 5, so 3rd down and 5. Tyson Smith, the left-handed quarterback. We yet to see him throw, but they haven't needed to do that thus far. Just underway here at Hanson Stadium. And there he gets stuffed right there on the 3rd and 5. And they call him down. They don't wrap him up very well, but they'll be forced to punt.
All right, that's a good job by the front line up there. Let's set their front line. Number 90, Terry Lyman, number 99, Jared Tagafoga, 65, Casey Jackson. Casey's a 6'4", 275-pound sophomore out of Orem. Jared, 6'3", 285, sophomore out of Salt Lake City. And Terry, number 90, a 6'1", 240 sophomore out of Orem. Also, Sam Lytle, number 34, will line up in the slot there on defense. So they run pretty big along that defensive line, and they're very active and very quick, Mike.
Well, a couple big runs for Scottsdale, but quickly shut down. Dixie will take possession now. Looks like they'll have the ball just inside the 20-yard line. So a good punt. Got him inside the 20. You try to do that. No chance for a return, really.
Should we set the offense there? We got Jeremiah, number 12, at quarterback. Bucky Orton starting at tight end, number 22. Barry Fulmer Starting in there at, he's the alternate. He'll bring the plays in, Barry Fulmer with Bucky. And wide receivers, you got number 2, Brooks.
So right out of the gate, they go to Tony Jones, they give him the ball, but it looks like he comes up with a fumble. And when we watched New Zealand play, Dixie fumbled the ball at least twice. And here comes the shot again. Jones had to cut it back inside and actually gained a few yards, but they wrap him up and as a clean strip. It's a good call by the officials. And Scottsdale's in business, and these turnovers hurt Dixie last week and could be a factor why they slipped down to number 2.
Yeah, you got to take care of that ball when you're on offense, and very first play they turn it right over.
Scottsdale with excellent field position here. They're at the 20, their own 26, or Dixie's 26. I always get that confused, but they are moving from right to left on your television screen. And there's a gain of maybe 1 or 2 up to the 25.
Yeah, they try to pound it in there. Terry Lyman, 6'1", sophomore out of Orem, wraps him up and pulls him down the ground.
Gain of a yard on the play, brings up
so Scottsdale content to try to push it right into the teeth of the Rebels here early. 12:30 to go here in the first quarter. 0-0 the score. We're just underway. Beautiful evening for football. Not too hot in the booth tonight.
No, it's a gorgeous evening in St. George. We've had some cool weather the last week or so, and it's felt really nice.
There's our first pass attempt, and it's completed to Chris Lee out of Centennial High School. Not much doing, though. Tried to cut it back into the middle. As you can see, Dixie, good coverage out there. Cut him back into the center, and then he was wrapped up.
Yeah, good pursuit on that play. Quick pass out there, and they closed on him and surrounded him, so he didn't have nowhere to run. So brought down by Sam Lytle, 6'1", 240-pound sophomore out of West Valley City, Utah.
We talked a little bit last week about the team speed of the Rebels, and their defense just really swarms. You'll see 7 and 8 guys in on a tackle at a time. So from the shotgun, right across the middle, a great play, and stood up right at the goal line nearly, 4-yard line. And just cutting across the middle there, easy little play. Number 81, Taiwan Swayze.
Tackled by number 15 of the Rebels.
Yeah, Mike, you'll see on this replay, he runs about 7 yards down and cuts it in, and just a quick slant in, and he was playing off quite a ways, giving him a big cushion and let him catch that ball.
So the Artichokes in business here at 1st and goal. 11:20 in the first quarter. And we'll see if they just try to run it right down the Rebels' teeth again.
Dixie's defense being challenged early in the game, Mike.
Not too many times you see a couple lefties starting against each other. And Tyson Smith has looked crisp with his passes. He's hit both of them. Not that they were any toughies, but you got to make the routine look good. So they do try to squish it in the middle here.
Terrell Cameron, the ball carrier.
Carroll gets about to the 3, so we'll call it 2nd and goal from the 3.
Number 90, also in defensively for the Rebels, Terry Lyman.
They try to run the left side of the line there. Let's see if they, I think we'll look to see them drop back and throw it this time, Mike.
Well, they're stuffing it up in the middle. They got the linebackers tight right over center, and they're going with the fullback. And he stood up, maybe a gain of 1 again. That's number 22, Ja'Cory Jacobs. And not a bad blocking scheme if he can get through that many red shirts to get a yard.
Yeah, Mike, you noticed on our replay, the linebackers, like you say, cheating up there to the line, and they're trying to plug all the gaps there so they can stop that run.
Well, the one good thing about the thing in Dixie's favor here is the field is short, so they don't have much room to work with if they do choose to throw. But they only have a yard to go for the first score of the ball game. Smith under center. He'll drop back and throw it inside, but it's no good. So a little antsy on the pass. He didn't quite get his receiver time to come through, but he was jammed up nicely at the line
for number 3,
by Lockhart, I believe.
Defending for the Rebels.
But good defense. He didn't let the receiver bump off of him, and they'll come in to try the field goal.
Good job by the defense there. They had 1st and 5 to go for the touchdown, and they only gave him about 4.5 yards there, and they were stingy on those runs, and it forces Scottsdale for a field goal.
Brett Ivy on him, try the attempt. It's up and looks good to me, and it's good to the officials. So our first score of the game at 9:48 in the first quarter, taking advantage of the Dixie miscue as Jones fumbled, they march down about 7 or 8 plays and settle for the field goal. Not bad for Dixie to come away with just giving up 3 points.
Yeah, Mike, after that costly turnover, if you can get away with minimal damage, that's a bonus for the Dixie Rebels. And for them to stop them down on the 5-yard line there was a big defensive stand.
Tim Douglas was the kicker there. I read the punter, but Tim Douglas converts the 3-point play. That's more like basketball, what we're used to. There's a 3-pointer.
Buy one, get one free hamburger. Compliments of Chili's of
well,
St.
once
George.
Again, a late arriving crowd. It's a little breezy down here. Well, there you can see a shot of the fans. It was about like this last game. And by the time the second quarter rolled around, we had quite a few.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with about 10 minutes before the game. There was hardly anybody here, and I thought, well, what am I missing here? Something's happening in town, but yeah, they're late rivals, and
Larry, I wasn't even here 10 minutes before the game.
Yeah, Mike was one of those late arrivals. So we were getting ready to go without him, but he showed.
Well, Dixie, the one advantage, you can see the flags blowing there. Dixie will be working with the wind, so you definitely need to take advantage of that. Scottsdale doing a nice job to score 3 points against the wind. That may be pretty good if the wind continues to blow. Be interesting to see how far Douglas can kick this down the field.
Number 6, James Wells,
into a,
along with
well,
Cole Carter.
Not quite a stiff breeze.
Just a little 5 knots probably, I would say, if we were in aviation talk.
I do not know my knots. Square knot.
Here we got back James Wells back deep for Dixie. And
oh, he squibbed it down there. It's been touched, so Dixie needs to grab it. But it's taken by 23. That's Wells. And he does the smart thing, just wraps it up. That's Cole Carter.
Cole Carter,
sorry.
yeah. Cole Carter out of Dixie High School.
With the kickoff return out to about the 25-yard
replay here.
He didn't want to mess with that wind. Really did a good job squibbing it down there. And Carter doing the smart thing, just grabbed it, went up the gut, and took care of the ball. He got a pretty good smack on it.
Yeah, he got licked pretty good.
Okay, so we'll see what the offense can do here. If you'll notice, Tony Jones is not in the backfield. You've got Wilson. Well, I don't know who's in the backfield.
So Lockhart and Wilson.
There's number 29, Ben Tufuga. He's a fullback.
Number 25,
and they had another
George
fullback
Gordon
in there
Jr.,
at 49, Kyle Wilson. And Wilson had a pretty good game against
play.
New Zealand
Tackle made
2 weeks
by
ago.
number 91,
So you wouldn't be
Steve
surprised if he gets the ball, but I'm surprised that Jones is sitting down early. Fumbles, and he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, we'll see Eric Lockhart, number 1, at
the offensive
back
line
in there, I think, before too long. But Kyle Wilson, a 6', 215-pound freshman out of Spanish Fork, Utah. So he's traveled down from the Orem area there.
Ooh, DeLamas, a little pressure, and it was hot on the throw. Bucky Orton, the tight end. Pass was a little behind him, as you'll see on the on our screen here. So just a little behind him, but pretty thankful they didn't catch it because he was going to get wrapped up there anyway.
On the offensive line for the Rebels, number 72.
So 3rd and 7, 3-0, Scottsdale with the lead inside of 9 minutes here in the first quarter. DeLamas sets his team. He's got 2 wideouts. Looks back to run the draw to Wilson. He'll carve it up the middle, and that's going to be real close to the first down. He got it out across the 35. It looks like the markers, he just needed to get past that. So they'll see what the call is. They do give him a first down. So didn't throw, didn't run it straight up. They run the draw, it tricks them, and they get the first down.
Gain of 7
good job mixing it up there.
First down.
The offensive coordinator calling the plays there. Doug Jolly is the offensive coordinator, and he's calling the plays down there. So Gordon Jolly, I'm sorry. Doug's his son. Doug quarterback for Dixie High last year, and so Gordon Jolly.
DeLamas back to throw on 1st and 10, and he's got his receiver, number 2, Clevon Brooks. And that's a pickup of about, they'll give him his forward progress, so we'll call it 9. 3rd and 1, or 2nd and 1.
Play by Jason Thompson.
And that's a good play to
gives the Rebels a 2nd down and 1.
There's the shot right across the middle, and a good stick on Clevon. They'll call it 2nd and 2, and not a bad position here to maybe throw deep with just 2 yards to go for a first down. We'll see what Coach Crowshaw's thinking. DeLamas flips it out to Tufaga, and he's hammered right there. His number 42 did great penetration. That's Cale Ferguson on the tackle. And he just really busted in there. I don't know if anybody even got a finger on him. He came free, and Wilson blocked him right into Tufaga.
Yeah, Cale, the outside linebacker there, was coming all the way. Yeah, he was just in the right spot at the right time there. He needed to break it inside on the run there a little bit. But
this is a good setup, Larry. This is a little more comfortable than last couple of weeks. You don't have to stand up, tip the TV screen. This is nice. They've done a nice job setting it up. DeLama scrambling. He's going to go yard, and he's got a receiver.
Got him.
He does it. Number 22 all the way downfield. That's his tight end, Bucky Orton. So DeLama's running around trying to buy some time, and he goes yard. So the offensive line doing a great job to give him plenty of time to scramble. Nobody was downfield, and a solid spiral carrying it with the win, and Bucky with a good using his hands.
Yeah, Mike, he was scrambling around back there. He had all day to throw the ball, and then the pocket collapsed. 3 guys hit him as he threw the ball, but Bucky right there. Last week, there was 3 guys for Dixie that had 3 catches. Bucky Orton had 3 for 85 yards. So he's on the stat board of that 85 already.
Well, DeLama's getting a little pressure there, and he throws it away as it goes over the head of Clevon Brooks. Good penetration here as he's hit right at the line. And not a bad place to throw it. If he throws it short, it's going to get picked. So.
Yeah, Mike, pretty good coverage there. And like you say, it had to be over the top. And if you're going to miss it long.
Well, a little something about DeLamas. He had a chance to play up in Idaho this year. He went up there and spent a little time with the coaches and the players and the campus, and didn't really enjoy it. And he came back down here to Dixie, and Croshaw handed him the ball, so he's doing a fine job. And there's a nice solid run there by Tufaga as he just motors down the runway, and he's going to be close to a first down and pick up about 9. That'll give Dixie 3rd and short.
Mike, he done a good job running off tackle there. Great power. There was 2 or 3 guys that had him and a chance at him, and he ran right through their tackles. So good job of picking up 8-9 yards there on that play.
3rd and 1, 3-0 Scottsdale. But Dixie knocking at the door, trying to take the lead, closing in on the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter. Mike Sandberg and Larry Swenson here at Hanson Stadium. And DeLamas will hand it off. There's the first down and more. Oh, a great stretch. And I believe that's football's special moment as number 25, George Gordon Jr., punches it in with a solid run of about 12 yards.
Yeah, he made it good. They come right back with the very same play. You'll see it on replay here. Just an off tackle, and he just runs with power. He runs right through those guys. Great job. There he is, cutting out.
Good blocking again, and there's
stiff arm, and runs right through those guys. Number 7 come up and tried to shut him down before he jumped over the goal. But
Jason Thompson, let's see, 186 against Gordon at 240.
Yeah, a little mismatch there on the goal line, and you can see why he scored.
Where's the cannon?
The
In a way on the PAT, and that's perfect. They don't have the cannon again, but Rodney Rebel down there doing some push-ups. So at the 6:03 mark, Dixie College makes their presence felt.
Here's our replay, Mike. We can see this again. He runs right off the off tackle there, and a good kick out on 42, and then he just straight arm, and powers away. A good block downfield to help out score there.
You always like to see your receivers help out blocking down there. 7-3, Dixie with the lead here in the first quarter.
Well, that's a little different than their opening series, Mike. They ran one play and turned it over, and I think it woke them up when Scottsdale went down there and scored the field goal, and they decided, uh-oh. So offense looked good moving the ball. They mixed it up. Offensive coordinator Gordon Jolly done a great job mixing the plays, calling, run, and pass. So they done a good job.
They did. They took advantage of the downwind, and of course the big play was DeLamas's, I don't know, about maybe 40-yarder to Bucky Orton. That set him up, and good solid running after that.
Number 26,
that was kind of like a alley-oop under the basket for a slam dunk, wasn't it, all the way down? Bucky, one of our favorite basketball players on the Rebel basketball team.
Deron Finley, and number 2, Terrell Cameron.
I wonder what it'll take for Dixie to get the number 1 ranking back. They vote just like they do in the Division I. And the votes went to Coffeyville, Kansas, 111 points. And that was ahead of Dixie's 94. Ooh, good solid hit there. Right at the 20-yard line.
Good job on special teams getting down there and making good contact and turning him in the other direction. Let's look at it here on replay.
Dixie has had some trouble with special teams. New Zealand had some good run backs, but here he gets about to the 20 and there's a host of red waiting for him. And he kindly gets pummeled right at the 20. So 1st and 10, 7-3, Dixie on top. Smith will take it in there at quarterback. He's a left-hander, Scottsdale in white, Dixie in red, moving from right to left. And he'll roll to the left and step inside. Oh, smacked by number 31, Chris Pagafi. I gotta learn to pronounce that name because this kid makes all the tackles.
He's an all-conference player, and they told us to watch in the press guides to watch him. And as you'll see on this replay, he'll come up and lay a lick on him. He's 5'11", 215-pound sophomore out of Hawaii.
Well, that'll keep Tyson Smith in the pocket a little longer maybe next time. He stays in there, and he's got an I formation behind him. So I wouldn't be surprised if they run here 2nd and 10 and deep in their own territory. Dixie really fronting him right there. They give it to the fullback, and he'll only pick up 1 or 2. No one out to the right side for Scottsdale in the offensive set. Dixie really able to cheat with their linebackers. They have not spread out the defense of Dixie at all.
Yeah, Mike, Dixie's come out with a 3-4. That's what we seen last 2 weeks ago when we seen him play here at home. And those linebackers, like you say, they're real active and they cheat up in the holes. And those 3 front linemen, those guys are down there doing a great job.
Well, the head coach for Scottsdale is Kenneth Giovando, assistant head coach Lee Rogers. And they're looking for a big road win here against the number 2 team in the nation in junior college. There's Smith rolling again, and he's sacked behind the line of scrimmage.
Mike, defense doing a great job that way. That was a cover sack. He rolled out there, and he looked and looked and looked and couldn't find anybody to throw it to. And they sacked him for a 2-3 yard loss there.
Well, in the WSFL standings, that's our league, WSFL. What does that stand for there?
Western something football league.
There you go, Western States.
States, probably, yeah.
That's a short punt. It's off there. I think, what a great play by 43, and then he fails to pick up the ball. I think Dixie's going to have it back.
Boy, if Dixie comes out with that ball there, that'll be a miracle.
Number 43 for Scottsdale, Chris Stanton. He shoved him down, if you'll watch, but then he tried to pick it up and run. So right there, it's Muff. Now watch him push him down. Great play, but he should have just fallen on it. He tries to pick it up, and I believe Dixie's going to have possession. And they do. Wow.
Well, you know, a Scottsdale player come out with the ball. But I fail to see how come they're giving it to Dixie unless he was ruled down and they took it away from him afterwards. The only thing I can think of.
Cole Carter having a rough time down there with the punts so far, and he muffed that one. He's down there talking to special teams coach. And he's teaching him how to use a fair catch or get the heck out of there signal.
Yeah, that was a tough play there because he was running up. It was a short kick, and he just didn't get there in time.
There's the handoff, maybe a gain of 1. I didn't see who was carrying that. 49, that's Kyle Wilson, the fullback. So Jones still not in the lineup. Like you said, we may not see much of him if Dixie has the lead. You hate to see a guy fumble and then get benched, but you don't like to give the ball away in any circumstance.
Yeah, it won't be long. We'll see him back in there. So,
hey, that's a great graphic. We got the clock up there. 3 minutes to go. Delamas with plenty of arm on that one. Carried the win, trying to go to number 84, Chris Brenna. And that's incomplete.
Scott's doing a great job putting pressure on Delamas. He's been rushed, he's been sacked, he's been pressured. As you can see here, he's hit just before he throws the ball and wrapped up. And they're doing a good job putting pressure on him. They're bringing a linebacker, number 34, Casey. Alexander is coming on the outside weak linebacker position there. See him lined up on the right-hand side there. They've been bringing him and a couple other linebackers now and then. So
3rd and 8, you think it's passing down, but they decide to run it, and they go to Gordon again, but he stood up before he can get to the first down, and it's going to be 4th and about 3, and Dixie should be able to punt it away here.
Yeah, right at midfield. I don't look to see Croshaw make a decision to go for it yet, so.
Gordon comes around, a good solid tackle right there by number 23 as he goes low.
Zach Wimbrush, a sophomore, 6'1", 193.
And Dixie going for it. Coach Croshaw believing in his defense, which is not really uncommon. And he goes to Tony Jones, and he can't get it. So Scottsdale makes the stop, and Tony Jones got the call on a crucial 4th down. Well, I don't know if you can call it crucial here.
I think Dixie tried to catch Scottsdale back on their heels. They weren't sure if Dixie was going to go for it or punt it, and they hurried and lined up and ran the running play to the left side of the field there. And Scottsdale come up and done a good job stopping the ball.
They did, so you don't like anybody hanging around you. I know it's only the first quarter. 7-3, Dixie on top. We've got an officials timeout on the field. We'd like to thank Stephen Wade once again for helping us bring this game to you. They do a great job for the community and especially for Dixie College and Dixie College Athletics. So we'd like to thank them for letting us bring the game to you.
Looks like they're going to call for a measurement, but I think you're going to find Dixie's going to come up just a foot short. First down.
Word.
What a spot they got on that one,
Where
Mike.
did that come from? So it never hurts to ask, and Coach Croshaw making sure the guys in blue are out there stretching those markers. And I don't know, do you smell some home cooking, Larry?
No, you know, it cost me $20, but that umpire Richard Boulder down there, just kidding.
So Dixie will take, retain possession, 1st and 10.
Boy, Mike, that was a generous spot from where I seen him go down.
I say, DeLamas, a quick toss right over the middle to number 22, Bucky Orton, his tight end again. Doing a great job. And that's another 1st down, so march goes the Rebels.
Mike, last week against Phoenix, we had 5 receivers catch 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 passes last week. Like I said, Bucky Orton had 3 passes, Cleavon Brooks had 3, Corey Groh had 3, and the other 2, Mark Henderson, Anthony Jones had 2 each. So they've done a good job mixing it up, throwing it around to different receivers last week.
Look out. And good hit by the defense. Number 73 in there. He got picked up, but he bounced off the block and hit DeLamas as he threw, and the throw was a little soft and behind the receiver. Lucky that fell harmlessly to the ground. It'll be 2nd and 10. Buck 39 here to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Mike, John Bowman, a sophomore, 6'3", 278. Done a good job putting pressure on and disrupted that pass. Their linemen doing a good job getting in there and pressuring the quarterback, Mike.
2nd down and 10. DeLamas will hand it to Jones, and he'll cut left side, bring it right back up the middle, and you can see why he gained 201 yards last week, as he's a little guy, but man, he can put a hit on somebody. And he came out at the end of that pile as he stretched him out, and you can see the replay. He bounces off a couple people, wrapped up, and even that last hit still stretched it out. And they'll measure for the 1st down.
Jones doing a good job hitting that hole quick, Mike. It was a little off tackle to the left side there, and he was up through the line and down 7 yards before they even knew what hit him. So,
well,
done a good job. He done a good job breaking up in there. They're measuring again. Looks like 3rd and just the 2 inches we made it by last time. It looks like just a little short.
Well, no problem. I'm sure they'll just give it to Jones over the left side again. And I think he can pick up inches with his eyes closed as long as he holds on to that ball.
We're down to the 118 mark, 7-3, Dixie, and Dixie on the move again to end our first quarter here coming up, Mike. I'm Larry Swenson along with Mike Sandberg and Stephen Wade doing a great job. helping sponsors out, and all the sponsors that help Dixie Rebel football, basketball, baseball, all of them. There's a lot of contribution going on in the community from a lot of different sponsors, and time, effort, and money spent, Mike.
Okay, so 3rd and short. Lamas drops back. Wow, surprising move, and he's got Lockhart. Oh, we missed it. I'm sorry, that's Clavon Brooks. A great call. You know they'll go for it on 4th and inches. So Croshaw thinking he had it down to basically play with, and he goes for the fade, and Lamas just a little strong. Maybe the wind carried it just off the fingertips of Clavon Brooks, and a good play.
Yeah, it was a good throw, and you know, like you say, one step, a half a step away, and that would have been 6 points on the board.
Man, look at that baseball field over there. That looks gorgeous. That Littlewood's doing a good job over there.
That is Mike and Dave Littlewood over there, our baseball coaches. That's a gorgeous field.
Delamas with the keeper, and he'll easily pick up the 1st down as we get inside the minute mark. In college football, the reason the clock stops, you may not be aware, but every time they make a 1st down, the clock stops. They'll get the ball set, let the markers reset, and then they'll start the clock. So these college games tend to maybe be a little longer than the pro games, but you never know.
You know, Mike, when we sit up here in the booth and you look out through the community, there's been a lot of improvements and a lot of upgrades on the campus here at Dixie. And it's sure beautiful. They got softball fields there, and the Bruce Hurst baseball field you mentioned. New turf down on the football field here. So
first class. And there's Tony cutting it loose, and Jones, he'll pick up, get him inside for a 1st and goal from about the 6. And great stepping through there. Again, he's just bouncing off guys.
Yeah, I think he wants to make up for that fumble earlier, and he's just busting through there. Fullback doing a good job spotting, and he's just, they can't arm tackle him, Mike. They just have to have 2 or 3 guys to bring him down.
Number 66 right there, the center, Shorty Niafali. I don't think you like to call him center. That's the outside or offensive lineman. He is the center, isn't he? No, he's not. Yes, he is. Shorty, what a great name. Delamas will hand to the fullback, and he'll kick it inside of the 2-yard line. That's Morgan Bingham. Fredonia, Arizona. He's a sophomore. And that's the end of the 1st quarter. And our score here from Hanson Stadium, 7-3, Dixie College on top. Again, we'd like to thank Stephen Wade for helping bring this to you. We got a lot of sponsors. Chili's helps us out, Smith's, Pepsi, all the boys and girls out there in corporate sponsorship land. We appreciate it.
They do, Mike, and it takes a lot of man hours and a lot of money and a lot of time to set up and bring a broadcast to you, and we appreciate Stan Everett and his job and his crew. Our camera guys will go over the names at the end of the game for you, but they do a great job bringing the ball game, and they're all volunteers, and they spend their time and take time out of their busy schedules to come down and do this for us.
Stan's one of the more higher paid volunteers, however. Ken Richmond, I kind of lean toward Ken there. Okay, so they'll switch into the field, pump it up with a little Billy Idol, all right.
Mike, Dixie doing a good job controlling the offensive power on the 1st quarter. Look at that view and that sunset. Boy, that's pretty nice there. We had, 2 weeks ago when we were here, it was like that. We had some thunder bumpers and stuff, but beautiful down here in St. George, Utah.
Larry, every day is like this in southern Utah.
It is. I'll have to agree with that.
How's that for the county? What do they call it?
Chamber.
There you go.
We're plugging for the chamber now, too.
2nd down and goal from the 2. Delamas, he could keep it perhaps, but he may go to Jones. They keep it with a fullback, and he's going to fall over the pile and count it.
Late call.
Morgan Bingham with football's special moment as he pushes it into the end zone. And Dixie's out to a 13-3 lead with a PAT coming on.
Mike Morgan, a 6-foot, 226-pound sophomore out of Fredonia, Arizona. So little Arizona boy there punching it right at the Scottsdale, Arizona team.
So they turn around into the wind, but they get an easy play in a way to attempt the PAT. See if the wind's a factor, but it shouldn't be from this range. point blank, I think is the term. The hold is good. Ooh, a low kick. Almost blocked as they got a hand up, but it goes through, and it's 14-3, Dixie College. 14:55 here to go until halftime. There we are, Larry. Can you wave out the booth?
I was waiting for you to put it on the board there, Mike. But, Dixie doing a good job moving the ball down the field again, mixing it up with the runs and pass. There's your score right there, 14-3. Just started the second quarter.
Well, around the league tonight, we know Ricks College is undefeated. Eastern Arizona, who we lost to last year as our only loss, and Snow are all 1-0 in the conference. Scottsdale is this is their first conference game. But Eastern Arizona is at Snow tonight, so 2 undefeateds going there. And then you've got Ricks at Glendale. Glendale has lost. That shouldn't be too tough for Ricks. So you look to see Ricks go with a win, maybe Dixie, and then Eastern Arizona and Snow. One of them will go down, and that early in the season is a big game up there. (14-3), and Inouye will get ready to kick. And I still haven't found out if his brother was Brandon Inouye from last year. Anybody know?
We'll have to find that out, won't we?
So
there's
nobody
a
likes
on
to
the ground, and it's booted around, but there's 3 guys that covered it, made sure they kept possession there.
That wind must really be howling because nobody wants to kick off into the wind.
Ball covered at the 38-yard line where Scottsdale takes over 1st and 10.
Now, Coach Gilman, we found out, had a little baby girl. And we're going to get a shot of the little one. So congratulations there. Larry, you've been through that 7 or 8 times, haven't you?
You'll find out.
1st and 10 for Scottsdale. They trail 14-3. Smith still in at quarterback. And again, well, we have a new quarterback. I lied. That looks like they're trying to run the option a little bit, and that's number 12 in replacing Smith. And we don't have a number 12 on our sheet. That's great.
We'll just have to call him number 12, huh? Let's see if I can see.
Maybe Greg Abel.
Greg Abel, maybe.
Or it could be Brad Beitler. I'm gonna Abel. Why would they put an able body in?
They show 2 or 3 quarterbacks on the press guide here. How you say it could be, who knows? Sophomore. Greg's a sophomore.
Ooh, that's a good play right there. And running down the sideline is Terrell Cameron. And it's really an interesting formation. If you notice when they line up, they've got a wide receiver split out to the left, but no one is on the right side. And he drops back. A little fake, almost sacked in the backfield.
Yeah, they almost had him stopped. That's a long developing play because that running back has to swing clear out to the sideline and break it up. And Scottsdale, I think, fortunate to get that away. And a good job by the quarterback swinging over there, selling that play.
But again, an interesting offensive formation. I think Dixie's able to cheat a little bit as they can really stick it to him in the middle. Oh, there's motion in the backfield, and we've got a flag down. So a free play, it really won't count. No, marching back 5 yards. That play never should have started. I
don't know why they didn't blow it dead. Yeah, it was a motion, and they should have blown it dead.
Nevertheless, it'll be 1st and 15 for Scottsdale. And the new quarterback, I'm going to call him Greg Abel.
Motion by the offense. Penalties refused. Revealed to the play is 2nd down.
Well, there you go. That's why they didn't blow it dead. They had an option.
We hooked up the PA to him this week, and we've got it right down from the field, those calls this week.
I got to shut up.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous picture. We've seen that several times 2 weeks ago, that Dixie Rebel fountain. That's a great picture.
Well, now they've upgraded the stadium also. There are 1,101 chair seats. Not just cement, but chairs.
We've got a fumble on the snap down there, Mike, and I'm not sure. It looks like
quarterback exchange.
He dropped right on
Scottsdale regained possession.
Here's the replay. The ball's loose, and it
recovered by Scottsdale.
Looks like the running back
brings up 3rd down and 10.
The backfield to recover that.
Terrell.
And now look at this. Smith is back in. And number 12, Abel, goes out. So the Smith back in the ball game.
There's our 5 knots blowing on the flag right there, Mike. I guess that's a little breeze there, and it's like you say, it's gusting. It comes and goes.
Now they've spread them out. They've actually have 3 receivers. Somebody's in the slot. So 3rd and 10, and definite passing down. Oh, good stick there. That wasn't going anywhere, even if he caught it. And right on top of the play was number 31. That's our man, Chris Feogapi. And nothing doing there. Boom.
Yeah, Mike, they bring in number 8, Tyson Smith, to throw the ball. He's a freshman quarterback, 6'1", 205 out of Mountain View.
I wonder if maybe he was shaken up or something. He had a little retaped his shoe. I don't know. There's a good high punt. Let that go, and hopefully, oh, it takes a Scottsdale bounce, and they'll wrap it up inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line, maybe the 8. And Dixie will take over, 14-3, just inside 13 minutes.
Mike, I believe that punter's probably a golfer. You see that spin, he backed the ball up there a little bit. I thought we were going to see it like Cole Carter. He signaled fair catch and got out of the way. He thought it was going to bounce and go into the end zone, but it stopped, spun back.
Looked like my shot on 15 today. So the crowd filing in. You can see late arriving as usual, fashionably late. So Delamas now, he'll have to go into the wind. So I look for him to run a little bit more and not put the pressure on Delamas. And they punch it in the middle to Tony Jones, and he'll pick up about 2.
Yeah, they run off the left side guard there. And
Tony Jones, the ball,
just a minimal game, trying to mix it up a little bit. I think you'll see him, like you said, Mike, control the ball and run it up the middle there.
Well, they're up 14-3. There's plenty of time, 12 and a half until halftime. So I would look for this to be kind of methodical, maybe a lot of runs, maybe some short passes. I'm sure they won't throw deep into this wind. Bucky Orton could be a factor here. There it is, a little short drop, and a good catch by Clavon Brooks. And they throw him to the ground, but he was on the ground and it forced the fumble. You know, I have never liked that rule. I don't know if there's anybody out there with me on that, but when the ground causes a fumble, hey, that's a fumble, you know? But a good hands there by Clavon, and then they kind of whip him into the ground.
I think he had his forward momentum stopped there, and they were spinning him back around. But a good job catching the ball out there in front of him, and a good job throwing it. Clavon Brooks is a 6', 175 sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
So 3rd and 2.
We got quite a few Las Vegas, Nevada players on our team. I've noticed looking through the.
Now that's a heads-up play. Delamas fumbles the snap, but when he recovers it, he stretches for the first down. So you can hear Croshaw punt, punt, punt. So nothing doing there. That was a good play by Delamas. He tried to sneak it right up there.
A little miscalculation there on the snap. Croshaw not happy with that series. He's letting those guys know. He'll look right at the center.
Whose fault is that? Is it the centers or the quarterbacks, or a little above?
Well, sometimes you never know. The quarterback shouldn't pull out of there until he has the ball, and it's the center's responsibility to make sure the quarterback has the ball. So they kind of point fingers at each other and wonder who's at fault. And, of course, the coach, he picks on the smallest guy, I think.
Not Croshaw. I think he can handle most of those guys.
Well, Dixie in for a punt. We haven't seen Dixie punt. Is this their first punt of the game, Mike?
Should be. They turned it over and then have scored twice, and that's this is their 4th possession. So.
They'll be punting the ball into the wind, so look for Scottsdale to come up with some pretty good field position.
Last time they were in a punting situation, they went for it. Got a good call. Andrew Jackson went a long way.
Well, they got 4th and a yard and a half, so you might see something tricky here come up maybe. Of course,
I doubt it.
You know, with the lead and on your own 17-yard line, it's not the right place to do that.
The defense has been great, but I don't know how great here. Number 11 in the punt, Tyler Dot. No, that's not Tyler Dabo.
Could be. That's what it shows on the stat sheet.
And he gets it away, and that's the important part. A low driving kick, and it takes a rebel hop. And Dixie does a great job. Yeah, that's number 11, Tyler Dabo. He's listed as a backup quarterback, but hey, whatever works.
Dixie doing a good job punting the ball there with no return. We got a penalty on the play. I think there was some
taunting, maybe?
Extracurricular down there on the field after the whistle had blown. Let's go down the field for the call.
Uh-oh.
Nice job. Way to get it off. Good job.
Mike, it looks like we have quite a few students showing up here tonight than what we had 2 weeks ago. And like you say, I think school starts Monday morning. So they're starting to arrive now here in town and getting set up in their dorms and checking out their classes and roommates. And town kind of grows once school starts, population-wise.
You know, there's a lot of people that will argue with you that those college diplomas sometimes can't do a lot for you, but I'll tell you what, every time school starts, you think about your diploma.
Yeah.
I don't have to go.
That diploma I should have had, huh? Years ago. Yeah, it's quite a few of them have them, so.
Well, we've got, obviously that was something against Scottsdale as the ball was backed up 15. We never got an official call on it. Maybe.
I think he called personal foul, Mike. It was a, after the whistle, after the play, personal foul there on Scottsdale. So that'll back them back another 15 yards. So that field position they were hoping to get negated.
Yeah, that's like a 60-yard punt now. So Smith is in at quarterback, the lefty, and he's more likely to throw. And he hands it to the fullback. Maybe he kept it. I couldn't tell from that view. Nevertheless, it was only a gain of 1, if anything.
You can see on the replay here, they try to go the left side tackle again, and Dixie doing a good job just plugging it up. Those linemen are big and strong. I was looking at our linemen on the average on the defense, and those guys average right around 275, 280. So they're big down there on the defensive line.
Well, it looks to me like Scottsdale's trying to run some kind of an option, but it hadn't worked that time. It's interesting to see how they line up one wide receiver, and they're going to go to him. And he looked to fly, and the quarterback looked for the cut. And that equals an incomplete pass. It will bring up 3rd down and 9 yards to go for the first.
Yeah, I think he was trying to throw to Jason Jones, the sophomore tight end, 6'4", 250 out of Mesa High School. He was breaking out there, and like you say, he had a receiver streaking down the field. Kind of threw it right between both of them.
Had a spider in the booth, but I terminated him. Shotgun formation, this would be a definite passing down. 3rd and 9, 10-12 to go until halftime. And he's got 3 receivers, and he'll look to go long to the left side and up high for the ball. Some incidental contact there as both players went for the ball. It was a little bit overthrown. The pass goes incomplete to number 81. Gotta tell those names. Taiwan Swayze.
You can see on the replay here, Dixie rushes 3 linemen and dropped everybody back in the nickel there to cover the pass. They knew they were going to throw the ball, and they done a good job.
Go in to punt, the low snap, but he did a good job to get it away. And maybe
He was down on his knee,
Oh my
Mike.
word! What a call! Unbelievable. That's right. In college, if your knee's down and you're in possession of the ball, you're down.
That's a great heads-up call there. I think he's the only one on the field that made that call or knew to call that, because he went down on his knee to scoop the ball up, and that puts him down right there.
Well, that is amazing. How do you? Is that negative yardage on the punt?
That won't help his stats a bit, will it?
Does not help the average whatsoever. So Dixie licking their chops. 10:02 here until halftime. They already lead 14-3, and looking for more. DeLamas under center, and he'll flip it back to Tony Jones. He cuts it, great blocking up front, and he's going to step in to the end zone. And Tony Jones strutting his stuff down there on the end zone, and Dixie, no flags. So it's 20-3 with a PAT coming on.
Boy, Mike, Dixie doing a good job capitalizing on that mistake. One play. Off tackle there on the left side, and they scored. Jones fired up down there on the field. I think that scolding after the first fumble kind of woke him up, and he's doing a great job down there.
Well, he's going to be a super player. He's just a freshman, I believe. And he could be here for another year.
Yeah, he's 6'1", 208 freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
In a way, that sounded good. It looked good, and it is good.
You can count it.
21-3, Dixie College, and this is kind of what we expected. I think the line was 21 and a half in favor of Dixie.
Did you take the over or under on this game?
I took the under, thinking Scottsdale would not score. And Jones just running off that left side again. He likes to do that. Great blocking. He didn't really get touched until he picked up 10 yards.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 good blocks out there by the wide receiver and the fullback, doing a good job leading the way. So Dixie's starting to feel a little momentum here, getting them fired up. Every time they get the ball, they're just marching down the field now.
Well, a few people from Scottsdale made it up, as you can see across the field there.
Shake it all.
A few fans, but definitely better to have the home field advantage.
It is. It's a long ways to drive to watch a football game, and I'm sure they drive up, play a little golf, hang out at the hotel,
Do they have
maybe
golf?
go down to Virgin. And
Do they have golf courses in Scottsdale?
I believe they do, about 80 or 90, something like that, in a small community. So, yeah, there's a lot of golf going on down
It's
there.
nice that we throw a little football. There's a fumble, but he picks it up, and he'll march up to about the 30. Terrell Cameron making up for his mistake. You notice he didn't kneel down to pick it up.
Yeah.
So these kids, you know, they're college age. They learn.
They work on that practice, I think, not
So he
falling
muffed it
down.
right there and picked it up without touching his knee to the ground. And marches right upfield, tripped up there almost by his own man, but not bad field position. 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Scottsdale Artichokes. I think they'll get past midfield, Claire. They've got 3 wideouts now. A player in the slot.
He's out of the shotgun
Looks
again.
like they're going to try and use this wind to their advantage and throw it while they're downwind. Great hit and fumble. No, not going to give him the completion. Is right there was Tom Wolfgram, defensive back, to really put it to him. He's from Provo, Utah. And man, he really stuck him and forced the fumble. As you can see, he's in the air. The ball comes loose. He never had his feet down, so a good call. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, good job on defense there. He was just hanging out, waiting for him to make his break, and he was there when the ball come.
Thanks for turning on the lights, Larry. There's another fumble. He didn't kneel down. He can run this left side. No, goes right over the middle. Oh! And the offensive player, the receiver, became, that's Deron Finley. He became the defensive player as he knocked it away from Charles Rogers. Rogers had an interception 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Mike Rogers, a 5'11" sophomore, 182 pounds out of Las Vegas, went up there. He was up in the air looking for that interception. A little disappointed he didn't come down with it.
3rd down and 10.
But doing a good job for a safety out there. That's the safety's job. Don't let anybody back behind you.
Ooh, goodness, almost a late hit by Lamont Ford. The pass goes right over the middle, and it hits him in the hands, but he couldn't handle it as the pass is a little behind him. And Lamont Ford did a nice job to hold the receiver up. I think if that receiver goes to the ground, they may have called a penalty on him.
Yeah, Mike Lamont, a sophomore out of Fairbanks, Arkansas. So he's traveled a fair distance to play football.
Beitler back to punt, and another high spiral, and a fair catch called, and nicely done by Cole. And Dixie with pretty good field position as they look to march it. I said they'd get past midfield. I was incorrect.
Now Dixie's defense stepping up again, being real stingy, not giving them anything. They're looking to pass the ball out of the shotgun, and you know, Dixie's DBs are really quick. They close quick on the ball, and they're always in the vicinity, and doing a good job.
Lamas looking to pass on 1st and 10. He goes yard, and that goes into the fence. He was trying for Clavon Brooks, who has made
Mikey,
a couple of plays tonight.
He almost got our camera and sound man down there. They were running for cover.
Wimps.
Best move you made all night down there, boys.
That camera, pretty expensive stuff. I think Stan Everett tells him to get out of there.
Run for cover, boys.
2nd down and 10. They've got Gordon in the backfield, and they'll give it to him left side. He gets stacked up there, and a good tackle by number 55 for Scottsdale. That's Brian Bracken. He's from Chino Valley.
Also John Bowman in on the tackle, a sophomore.
This will bring up 3rd and 9 as Gordon picked up 1. And look for DeLamas to give it a left-handed chuck downfield, and hopefully someone can come up with it, because I believe you really have to punt it away here. So try to keep the drive alive. See the shot clock back there. Shot clock, game clock, play clock.
Mike, I'd like to see him go to the draw. I was going to say
there.
Bucky Orton over the middle there, but they tried to catch him sleeping there with the draw.
Well, they did it once, but this time they couldn't do it. 39 in on the tackle.
Kyle Wilson trying to run the draw up there in the middle and just got nabbed at the line of scrimmage.
He was tackled by DeHornay. 4th down. So that will bring in Tyler Dabo. And he had a pretty good punt last time. We'll see what happens. Back to receive is Chris Lee. The kick is out and away. Chris Lee catches it, and he's off to the races. He's a speedster, gets to the sideline, cuts it inside. Good hustle by Chris Lee as he returns it.
Boy, Mike, Chris looks fast from up here. He got around that corner, and I thought, uh-oh. He's, how big is he?
He's not big. 5'8", 145.
5'8",
He's running for his life. That's why he's so
sophomore.
fast. Look at him get around that corner and does a nice job to stay in bounds. Cuts it back and picks up an extra 5 yards. And just about negated the punt.
Yeah, he's done a good job coming up and catching that short punt instead of letting it bounce.
That's a great shot right there at the end zone. 1st and 10 for Scottsdale. They trail 21-3, 7:40 before halftime. We're here at Hanson Stadium. Mike Sandberg and Larry Swenson. Again, we'd like to thank Stephen Wade for helping us bring the game to you. Smith fumbles the snap, but he's got 81 right over the middle. Ooh! So 81. Hearing the footsteps, I believe, is what they like to say. Taiwan Swayze couldn't handle it.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line holding him out there. It was a low snap. He had to find the ball, and he still had his 2 or 3 seconds to find a receiver and throw it. So, yeah, double on the hold, huh?
Smith, 2nd and 10, back in the shotgun. Clean snap this time. He heaves it to the middle. Oh, man! Number 80, James Denning, just totally dropped it. That was a 1st down all the way.
That was a great pattern, a great pass, a great throw, everything but a great catch. See it on replay. It was right in the numbers.
Boom, right in the hands. And well, when you've got somebody running at you like Peturo Salavea, you tend to take your eyes off of it. So 3rd and 10. Good pressure from behind, and that's going to be picked off by Rogers. And they'll bring it out to the 20. The rule is if you catch it inside the 5, or maybe the 10, I think it's the 5,
yeah.
And you're going back into the end zone, it's actually a touchback instead of a safety.
Yeah, they give him the momentum.
Right.
They can't stop his momentum going.
Well, he catches it at the, well, see, that's
6, 7
outside
yard
the 5.
line. Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what the rule is. You can see the coaches over there asking for a safety.
Well, they're bringing it out to the 4-yard line.
I'm not sure about that.
That's
Boy,
kind of an interesting call. I don't know what they're thinking in that call, but maybe that's his momentum stopper there.
We get a shot across the field at the coaches. They were out on the field calling for the safety, and I don't know exactly what they're calling here. Anyhow, Dixie 21-3. They've got the ball and a long field in front of them.
We're at the 7:18 mark, Mike. It's 21-3. your Dixie Rebels.
And this is Jones running off the right side this time, and he'll get him out of harm's way as he busts it out over the 10. Pickup of about 8, be 2nd and 2.
Tony Jones, the ball carrier. Gain of about 8 yards on the play. Tackle by number 39.
2nd and 2.
Mike DeHorne of Scottsdale.
DeHorne makes the tackle on the play. Got to be careful with that, man.
Yeah.
DeLamas takes it under center. Tries to draw. Oh, he fumbles it again, and he just grabs it, luckily.
Well, Mike,
He
I
gave
don't
him
know
a hard
if he,
count.
I don't know if he drew him off or not. I don't see a flag on the field. Doesn't look like it.
He was really giving him the hard count. He had some action from the defensive line, but they didn't jump. And then he fumbled the snap, so that's 2. And Dixie lost 3 fumbles last week. They fumbled it 3 times tonight, but have only lost it once. Very lucky.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of the Dixie Rebels. That center and quarterback, they practice that all week long. Usually you see maybe 1 a game, and we've seen several on both teams.
There's Jones again, and that's going to be recovered by Scottsdale, so maybe a little justice as they didn't get the call on the safety, but they may get a lot more.
Boy, Mike Jones really lazy on picking up that fumble. He should have got on that ball quick. You can see it on the replay here. He just took his eyes off the ball, bent over to pick it up instead of jumping on it. And that's a bad turnover.
Didn't even look like he was watching the ball. He was looking up ahead. DeLamas delivered it right in his numbers. But boy, that is frustrating. You hate to let a team hang around because you just never know, and that's Jones' 2nd fumble of the game. And it's kind of a tough trade-off. You put him in because you know he's a playmaker, but you hate to give the ball away. So Scottsdale 1st and goal from the 9-yard line, and they desperately need a score as we're at the 5:55 mark. This pitch out, and a great play by Pale Goffey. Unbelievable. He was right there in his kitchen.
Chris doing a good job. Chris read that sweep and got outside there. You can see on the replay, they tried to pinch him inside, and they tried to push him out, and he just ran him right over.
Boy, I'll say, he just gave him the hurt on that one. A little forearm shiver. And that's a loss of 6 yards. 2nd and goal from the 15. You don't want to back these guys against their own end zone. They just step it up a notch.
Yeah, I heard last week several times against Phoenix come down ready to score, and Dixie just moved them back out of field goal range with their defense. So look to see him get fired up.
Smith looks to pass. He'll throw it quickly to the 10-yard line. They'll pick up 5. The pass went to number 3. Flip the page. Deron Finley.
Yeah, he's a sophomore, 5'10", 169 pounds.
He was wrapped up by Rogers. The fan club's here, Larry.
Holy cow, the whole family's up here almost.
The fan club, family club, it's all the same. 3rd down, 10 yards to go for a touchdown. And you hate to see, if you're Scottsdale, you really don't want 3 points here. This may be a two-play situation.
They run trips out to the right side here, and they throw the ball. That was just a bad pass there, Mike.
Dixie, even if he catches that, Dixie right there to stuff him. So they're not fooling the Rebels whatsoever. And that's going to bring up 4th and 9. It looks like they'll bring the field goal unit out.
That's a good job on Dixie's defense. Very stingy on points down there in yards, and they ran 3 plays there for a net gain of about 1 yard. So
Tim Douglas.
A field goal.
I'm sorry, Larry. Tim Douglas comes in, and Greg Abel will hold. It looks good. It's on the way, and that's perfect. 4:13, 4:12, 4:11. Clock's still running. I'm not sure why. 4:09. It sticks. 21-6. Dixie College on top. We're near halftime. Mike Sandberg and Larry Swenson here at Hanson Stadium. Hope you're enjoying the game.
Cy Gilman right there is the new father we talked about, Mike mentioned earlier, and there he is coaching his players, working with his players. So congratulations to him. He's a new daddy. He coaches the defensive backs and helps out with the DBs for the Dixie Rebels and doing a great job.
Yeah, he's excited tonight. They've got an interception back there with Rogers, and boy, they're doing a great job sticking it to him.
Mike, I was reading the press guide, and I found some pretty interesting information here on one of Dixie's coaches, Kelly Smith. I know Kelly personally. He's a good friend, and I was reading it, and I just wanted to share this with our viewers. As a star player at BYU, 1984 National Championship team, he had 13 touchdown catches as a senior, 2 against Michigan in the national championship game. He had 56 catches on the year for more than 600 yards. So Kelly playing a little primetime football down at BYU as a wide receiver.
And a late flag comes into play as James Wells takes the kick out just about to the 20. Good coverage there by Scottsdale. We'll wait and see what the flag is. But Dixie, yeah, you think of the players loaded with talent, but how about that coaching staff? That's some pretty good experience to draw from.
Well,
hope you didn't hear that.
Croshaw, settle down. You know, Mike, I was also looking at some of the stats on Coach Croshaw. He's been at Dixie for 16 years, and his record is 126-38 with 1 tie. 8 conference championships. Last year they went 10-1. So Croshaw ranking right up there with the leaders in the nation. Well, in numbers and stats.
Yeah, they've gone 10-1 the last 2 years, and this year hoping for that perfect season, and if they can do it, perhaps a national championship in the junior college division.
Illegal block on the back by the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
The illegal block in the back, as you heard. Dixie will be stumped back to about the 8 or 9 yard line, and again, they'll have a lot of field to work with. Tony Jones is in there at tailback. We'll see if they go to him or if they hand it to Wilson at fullback. And they give it to Wilson up the middle. That may have been Morgan Bingham. We'll check that. And it is Bingham, I'm sorry. So they get over the 10-yard line, maybe a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Mike Morgan, a 6-foot sophomore, 226 pounds out of Arizona. We've mentioned him several times tonight, so doing a good job against some of his hometown buddies out there.
Delamas hasn't had much success through the air tonight. It's tough throwing into this wind. 3:18 to go here in the first half, and he whips it out to Jones. And he'll scramble for another 3 yards and bring up 3rd and 4.
Tony Jones, the ball carrier, tackled on the play by number 55.
See, just a simple pitch shot out to the right side. He cuts it in, and a good tackle made there.
Mike, a good job by the offensive line out there, firing off Joe, number 63, Glenn, 64, Shorty.
So they give him 4 yards on the carry. It'll bring up 3rd and 3, 21-6 as we near halftime. It's a big play for Dixie. They want to keep it going, and Jones fumbles again. And it was the best fumble of his life, baby!
Jones picks it up on a one-hopper and takes it the distance.
Unbelievable. That's sort of like in basketball. You go, no, 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 yes, yes, yes. And he takes that, baby. That's got to be 75 yards on a carry. And if you can make something good out of something bad,
here it is on the replay.
That's 82 yards, Lair.
Yeah.
So there's the fumble. He picks it up, breaks the tackle, and there's no one in the backfield. And it is clear sailing. That's how you score into the wind. We talked a couple weeks ago that Dixie likes to run the fumble-rooski. I've never seen it run quite that effectively, but we'll take it.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I can hear Croshaw down there, and he come off the field. He said, "Can't you hang on to that ball?" So he's chewing him out for the fumble, but he says, great run down the sideline there. So
PAT is good. That's the thing about Coach Croshaw, boy. He'll get right in your face, but he's also quick to compliment, and he'll keep those players happy. They sure like playing for him. He's fair to everybody, and it's always nice to have a compliment once in a while.
Yeah, Greg Croshaw doing a great job with his teams. And Mike, his records indicate his success down there on the field. Let's look at the run one more time. See him run off there. He drops it. It takes a favorable bounce right to him, and a missed tackle there, and he's c'est la vie.
Well, I can't believe that he fumbled that again. He's really going to have to work on that. He is just a freshman, but they've been playing organized ball for longer than a year. But he's dropped 3 balls tonight, turned 2 of them over, and he just made up for that one. The 6 points that Scottsdale has are directly related to Mr. Jones.
Yeah, we're at the 2:23 mark before halftime. It's 28-6. Scottsdale, their 2 field goals to amount to their 6 points there. And Dixie doing a good job on offense, running the plays, scoring the ball. Inouye
will kick it, and there again, that low punch shot. And it's taken by Cameron. He's got a hole, but a good one-arm tackle there by number 7. That's Jermail Smith. Just kind of reached out. Shoestring tackle, I believe is the term.
Yeah, Smith, a 5'11", 160-pound freshman out of Las Vegas, doing a good job sticking that arm and catching that shoestring.
28-6 is your score with the hometown Rebels on top. 2:13 before halftime. If you're just sitting at home watching the game, come on down during halftime. You can catch the second half. Smith still in at quarterback, so maybe something was wrong with him. They just took him out for a few plays, but he's been running the gauntlet the rest of the night. Oh, hit right as he threw it. It falls to the ground, but in there with the sack is number 71. Well, I guess they won't credit him with a sack on that.
Charles Roden, 6'2", 215 freshman out of Las Vegas. They come up and tattooed him as he threw that.
So it goes as an incomplete pass. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Mike, when they hit him that hard when they're throwing the ball, that should be like 2 sacks. Because he'll be definitely moving those feet and jumping around back there now.
There's in the shotgun. That's a fumble. Pagaffi is right in there. Pagaffi, sorry.
Boy, he barely got that ball back, Mike. There must be a little bit of grease on that football tonight because both teams are having a hard time hanging on to it.
Something's going wrong, but that's going to bring up a monstrous 3rd and forever for Scottsdale. The Artichokes not really moving the offense. Well, Dixie only gave up 120 yards last week. I'm going to say maybe they've given up maybe about half of that this game.
They could be in the negative right now. It doesn't seem like they've gone anywhere, really.
They really haven't. There's a good, strong arm. As they get a little of it back. But there again, they switched quarterbacks and went to Greg Abel. You can see Abel back there. He guns it right in there for a good catch and a good reception. Finally, they get a hold of one.
Dixie right there to shut him down as soon as he caught the ball. We got 1:07 left till halftime.
4th and 6, so they will punt. Brad Beitler for Scottsdale will kick it away, and it's a good kick into the wind. Cole calls for the fair catch again. So a little gun shy, and you can hear the coach on the sideline. That microphone's a little too close to those coaches. He was a little upset with Cole. He wanted him to run with that, and he did have some room. He didn't need to catch it fair there.
Yeah, those guys back there, they need to teach him to make that fair catch right at the very last second, make that decision. He's making a fair catch before the ball's halfway there.
53 seconds. Just look for Dixie to run a couple plays and get into the... They may just down it. I wouldn't believe that. Well, they're going to go for it. Croshaw looking to run it up here in the first half, and wide open and out of bounds. A great play as Mark Henderson cut left side, and Delamas hit him right in the numbers into the wind. Stops the clock. Great play by Dixie.
You know, Mike, when you're ranked number 1, number 2 in the nation, I don't think there's anything to do with slowing it down or taking a knee before halftime. They look to score every chance they get.
And that's the best passing play we've seen tonight, besides the kind of the Hail Mary to Bucky. So look for him to keep running down the field. Delamas looking poised in the pocket. Ooh! Boy, That's Brennaugh had a good shot at it. He could have been off to the races. But DeLamas comfortable in the pocket, and we can see that again as he guns it across the middle. And Brennaugh, ooh, any chance at all, he's gone.
Yeah, he's a 5'8", 176-pound freshman out of California.
2nd and 10 for the Rebels as they look to score here in the last 42 seconds before half. DeLamas drops back right over the middle. And a great play. And that will stop the clock with a first down. That's Barry Fulmer, the tight end. He and Bucky Orton going in and out and wide open.
Well, you can see the linebackers come up on a blitz, and that separates him wide open. The DBs were covering the wide receivers, and that center part of the field was just, I own it, he says.
Timeout for Dixie, so they look to capitalize on this. Man, no rest for the wicked, huh, as they just continue to push it down on Scottsdale.
Yeah, they're just, you know, the offensive yardage, total offense yard this first half has got to be phenomenal for Dixie. They're just marching the ball. There's a good job. He's stumbling, rumbling, and rolling down the mid-center of the field there.
So they'll mark the ball at the 30-yard line, and they'll have 1st and 10.
There's the crowd up there. A good crowd. Quite a few students, Mike. I'm surprised with school starting Monday. I didn't think I'd see this many students here already. But
they want to get out of the house.
Yeah, they're starting to flow in, and they're all out here supporting their Dixie Rebel football team. First look for a lot of them tonight. We got 33 seconds left before halftime, and scored 28-6. There's some of St. George's finest up there patrolling the stadium, so doing a good job on their bikes.
1st and 10, looked like we had motion there, and they'll blow the play dead, so Dixie will back themselves up 5 yards. DeLamas likes a little extra field to work with, so he told his men to jump.
Good job for him stopping the play there before it got underway. On that motion, they should stop it. Procedure call. I guess on a motion call, they don't stop it. On a procedure, they do. I think that's kind of the difference. You know, I really don't know what the difference is in the call. Somebody's moving before the ball snaps, so.
Maybe it's a backfield motion as opposed to the front line.
Anyhow, it cost them 5 yards, and they'll fire it up here.
And it cost them a second off the clock. 1st and 15. Got Henderson and Clavon Brooks out wide, and he goes to Henderson in the end zone. Can he get it? Oh, right through his arms, and there's a pass interference call. Boy, it looked like good coverage from here, but I'm about 100 yards away.
It was hard to tell. We might be able to see it on the replay, but it looked like he was face guarding him.
But that's a huge call for Dixie, as they'll be able to punch it in from, well, I think they go 15 yards and a first down. I don't think they'll give it to him on the goal line. I think that's a new
down to the 20-yard line,
something like that. So those pass interference calls, they give them 15 and an automatic first down instead of putting them on the 1-yard line. So that's not a bad play by the defender. If you know you're getting beat, I mean, you're going to give up a touchdown or 15 yards. You got to take that 15-yarder every time.
Especially when you're down there in the end zone, huh?
Groshaw's wondering what's going on.
He was watching NFL last week, and they give it to him on the 1-yard line, I guess.
Well, he came in to the golf course last week and just kind of asked him, you know, what to talk about and, you know, some of the things we might be able to say up here. And he just said, talk about me. Oh, that looked like interference again, and it is.
Yeah, that brings the flag in from both judges there behind. I think they seen the push from behind.
Yeah, Devon Jones got beat there as the play went inside. And he had one hand in the back and one hand around the front. Drew 2 flags. We got a player down there for Scottsdale. Well, he looks like he's going to be okay. That's Steve DeRosier. And he'll hobble off the field. He's got to sit out one play before he can re-enter. Either way, it's 28-6, 21 seconds, and 1st and 10 for Dixie, as penalties are the key to this drive. Henderson will bring the play in for Dixie. maybe look for him to run a fade here. They do have 2 timeouts. Wouldn't be surprised maybe if they do run a draw. They've got Tony Jones in there, and he can bust it. They've got the field spread out. And I'm going to give it to Jones right here. Maybe not pitch it, but hand it to him.
Put some bubble gum on it and slide it over his way.
They
Huh?
better be spraying some glue on his jersey at halftime.
I think they'll run him the right side there if they decide to run. Yep, it's got a lot of field over there.
They bring it short to the short field. Tries to cut it back, and that's good. And they do call the timeout. So, Larry, you and I might, well, if Gordon ever needs some help, I'm sure he could just ask us.
Yeah, that's why we're up here.
That's right. So Dixie will take their second timeout. 13 seconds, as you can see, with our handy. I'm impressed, Dan. You guys are Richmond, Ken. You guys are awesome down there. So we've got a new microphone down on the field. We've got a clock in the window. This is a first-class operation.
Yeah, that on-field mic down there, it's amazing the sounds and the, I guess you want to call it the grunting and groaning going on down there, because there's some pretty hard hits and some good action down there, and that field mic brings it right to you.
Well, and you know when they can bring in quality announcers like you and I.
There you go.
You and me. So it's getting thick around here. We'll get back to the ball game. 2nd and 5. Dixie with 1 timeout remaining. Look for him to throw, and DeLamas pressured underneath, and another penalty, and that's going to go against Scottsdale. Wow. Andre Dudley's going to be flagged for that one.
DeLamas hit, as he let go of that ball there, really hard, Mike, and he was slow getting up. But I think he's going to be all right. Let's see what the call is. Looks like another pass interference. They're moving it down to the 2-yard line.
2-yard line, 1st and goal with 11 seconds and a timeout. Blair, what's your call? An easy stick to Jones?
Mike, I think you got to throw the ball twice. I don't think you can afford to run it plus stop the clock. If you run a play, it runs about 8 or 9 seconds. They may not have time to stop the clock if they don't score. So I'd like to see them throw it twice. They got 1st and goal on the 2-yard line with 11 seconds to go.
Well, I'm still sticking with my run to Jones. They give it to the fullback, and he steps right in.
He just waltzed right in, didn't he?
So a good play. That's Morgan. Bingham. And that was play calling made easy. 7 seconds. A good camera angle right down there on the goal line. They stuff it up on the right side. He says, no, thank you, steps to the left. And he'll step right in. So Dixie has scored 5 touchdowns, and I believe with 5 different players. No, maybe Jones has scored twice. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jones scored on that 85, 87-yard breakaway. So give him 2 scores.
Inouye makes it 35-6. And Dixie is making Rodney Rebel. Rodney Rebel's looking a little chintzy on those push-ups.
Here's a replay here, and you can see the offensive line, number 75. Watch him blow off there and move his man in. Number 76, number 73, 75 there. Just Vaughn, what a great lineman. He's 6'6", 310 pounds, sophomore out of West Valley City. Doing a great job sealing off and giving him that outside.
Larry, were they that big when you were playing junior college up in April?
Absolutely not. You know, when I played up there, I had some players, some of our linemen were in that 270, 280, and I thought they were huge. I don't think we had one player over 300 pounds, but there's quite a few guys. That offensive line, 305, 305. Shorty weighs in at 305. Vaughn, 310. Rick, 285. Joe Marchant, 281. So there's some big guys down there on that offensive line. You know, the other thing, Mike, is they're all tall. 6'6", 6'5". I think Coach Rose, well, Coach Rose isn't here anymore, is he? I think Coach Cleveland and Rose down there at BYU might recruit these guys to play up there.
So there's the squib kick again, and this could run the clock out. Hopefully it will. And he runs out of bounds, but they'll hit the buzzer with that. So the last play of the half. as Inouye is perfect on his PATs, 5 for 5. Dixie with 5 solid touchdowns, and our halftime scores, we put it on the board for you. 35-6 Dixie. Mike Sandberg and Larry Swenson will be back with you for second half action, and then we'll throw a few stats at you. Thanks for being with us. We're 30 seconds away from the second half kickoff. Dixie leads 35-6 over the Scottsdale Artichokes. In a solid first half, he put up 5 touchdowns, and we'll run through a few of the stats and just how those points got put on the board. Larry?
Mike, first downs, Scottsdale has 4 first downs that first half. Dixie had 15. The stat that really stands out is the yards rushing. Scottsdale has a -2 yards. Dixie 193.
Ouch.
Our leading rusher is Jones, complemented by that 85-yard run. He has 150 yards the first half, so his stats are looking real good on
10 carries.
On 10 carries, so he's got his average up, and he's looking real good on, of course, complemented that 85-yard run. And
well, and you throw in 4 fumbles, so
yeah. Passing offense, Scottsdale's 34 attempts, 51 yards, and your Dixie Rebels 302 passing yards. So Dixie doing a good job in the air, throwing the ball.
Total offense.
Total offense, 302.
109 yards passing.
There we go. The stat that really stands out is fumbles. Dixie has put the ball on the turf 6 times and lost the ball twice. Scottsdale dropped it twice, but did not lose the ball. So,
well, we talked about that last week. Dixie did fumble, gave away 3 of them. They did recover 6 from the opposition, so they're +3 in that category. But those fumbles really going to hurt someday.
Yeah, so there's a kickoff. A few numbers for you, and we'll keep going through them a little bit on the receiving. Bucky Orton with 2 passes for 52 yards. His longest pass, a 40-yard pass. So he picked him up on that one long pass over the middle that we talked about.
James Wells returns the kick out to the 22-yard line as he's wrapped up. So Dixie will have a 1st and 10 as we get underway here in the third quarter.
Brooks also has 2 catches for 16 yards. His longest was 9 yards. Fulmer has 1 catch, and Henderson has a catch. Mike, like I say, Dixie doing a good job controlling the ball, mixing it up with the run and the pass, and look to see them come out and do the same thing the second half.
Delamas looks to throw, and he hits Clevon Brooks, but that's a short pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. We talked about the 120 total yards Dixie gave up last week in Phoenix. Well, they're going to beat that if they continue. They've only given up 51 total yards, 53 passing, and a -2 in the rushing, so a net of 51 total yards. And how they have 6 points, well, the turnovers. So if Dixie can take care of the ball, this could be 70-6 final. Delamas swings it out. Oh, they're going to call it a catch. The ball bounced up and fell right in his laps, and that's Brenna. And that'll be his first catch of the night.
Yeah, there's a replay there. You can see he ran it down and just hooked up right there for 7 yards, but he lost his feet, but seemed to reach out and snag that ball as he went down the ground.
That'll bring up 3rd and 3. In the backfield is Morgan Bingham along with Gordon. And they'll go to Gordon as they swing it out. Boy, he's stuffed for a loss of 5. Gordon with nothing doing there.
He was tackled by Mr. Ferguson, a sophomore, 5'11", 194. Doing a good job reading that play and stepping up there, getting penetration in the backfield and shutting him down.
4th down, 9 yards. Dixie will punt it away as Tyler Dabo is back to kick. he's done a good job kicking into the wind. The wind has subsided just a little bit. And another not a bad kick. Ooh. And hit there by 6. That's Wells. And
Dixie
no return.
Mike Dixie doing a great job getting down and covering that punt there. See it on replay here. He didn't have a lot of hang time, but he got down there, and there was 3 or 4 players. That was perfect hang time there.
Looked like it may have been a push in the back there, but Wells still able to get the tackle. First down and 10 for Scottsdale. They definitely need something out of this drive, or this is going to be a long second half for the Artichokes.
Yeah, Mike, they go.
It's like a fumble on the play, but they're going to call him down as they run right up the middle. Gain of about 2.
Yeah, they run right over the left guard there. And they haven't ran that successfully at all tonight. Dixie lineman down there doing a great job. Like you say, we got some good size on the lineman down there. Terry Lyman, Jared, Casey, those guys, Sam, doing a great job down there on the line. And
give him 3 yards on the carry, and that'll put Scottsdale at a +1 on the rushing tonight as they get out of the hole. They'll go with the 2 receiver set, but they're both on the right side, nobody left. And they'll run it inside. It's a fumble, and Dixie's got it. They switched quarterbacks again. I can't figure out why they're switching quarterbacks around. Smith was out, and in came Abel, and a little mix-up on the handoff, and Dixie's going to have field position right at the 50.
Yeah, they penetrated up there through the gaps and just stuffed that for a no losser, and he gave up the ball on the hit. So Dixie feeling a little fired up on defense right now, Mike.
I'll say this could empty the stands in a hurry with another score. Dixie will get it at the 48 as they lead 35-6. Just underway here in the second half.
Mike, kind of an interesting thought. I was down below during halftime. You see a little sweep there that was met at the line for about a 2-yard gain. But
Gordon, not much luck this second half thus far.
Scottsdale coaches were down there, and they were in a very adamant discussion about the refereeing. They felt like they got homered on some of those pass interference calls there just before halftime, and they were very vocal down there underneath the stands with their players and with one another. So look to see them guys fired up a little bit down there on defense.
Well, they need to get something going. Delamas back to pass. He swings it right inside. A great play, and that's Clavon Brooks, and he could go the distance with the block, but he doesn't get it. As he tried to cut back, lost his footing, but a great play as they run the under. Kind of cleared everybody out, let Clavon sneak in, and he's got some speed as he gets down to the 27-yard line. First and 10, and that's a pickup of just over 20 yards.
Mike, that looked like the play made famous by BYU. Kelly Smith must have brought that from BYU in his football days of the national championship team, but BYU likes to center screen that play right there just like that.
Another hard count by Delamas, and he hands it to Morgan Bingham. He'll pick up a couple as he moves the pile forward. Second down and 8 for the Rebels. 11 minutes left in the third quarter, and the clock is running.
Mike, number 84, Chris, running the plays in for the offensive coordinator, Gordon Jolly down there.
Delamas run a reverse, and that's Clavon Brooks, but didn't fool anybody. He should be down, and there's the whistle. Again, the reverse, one of those long developing plays, everything has to go just right to get it to go. Delamas tried to throw a nice block as he could, and we'll see it on the replay here. Just slow and developing. Delamas steps out with a nice block, but he couldn't seal him off.
Yeah, they had the blockers around there, and like you say, he just couldn't quite. It was about 2 steps short of getting developed and getting the speed around the corner there, and they couldn't quite seal off that end over there.
Well, they're really putting it to Brooks as he just runs for a 25-yard pickup, and they come right back to him.
Field goal.
For Delamas, he's got Henderson running out the middle. Oh, wow. Good pressure there again is 77. We've called his number, Joe Dorco. And he wraps him up and slows him up just enough for someone else to come in and polish him off. See the replay. No one was open. Another one of those maybe coverage sacks.
Yeah, Scottsdale doing a good job down on the coverage, and he had the time to throw it. He was looking around. He went to his first and second, third receiver, and no one was open. So
Dixie in with a quick punt. It's 4th and 25. Scottsdale thinking they might go for it, but they'll kick it away, and that's going to go into the end zone. Oh, that's soft as butter there, baby.
Well, there's a little 9-iron spin on that Zipolata there.
Tyler Dabo screwing the ball inside the 5-yard line. And Scottsdale not looking.
That's kind of a tough play there because they teach you when you're inside the 10, 15-yard line to let that ball go over your head. Hopefully it goes in the end zone. And that it's that gorgeous field grass down there that's putting the spin on that ball. We need some of that on the golf course.
Our greens are...
I can't spin the ball like that, and I've tried for years.
Greens are slow enough as it is. Okay, so 1st and 10 for Scottsdale. They are backed up with their rear ends in their own end zone. Dixie will look to feast on this. And they do as they run it up the middle. The pile falls forward for a gain of 1, maybe 2.
Boy, Mike, it's you hate to question their offense, offensive calls, but that play has gone for nothing all night long, and it's just a wasted down.
Well, they haven't gained any positive yardage, minus 2 yards. In the first half, you'd think you'd abandon the running game, maybe see if you can air it out, down by 29 points. Not a lot to lose here, playing against the number 2 team in the country. And they run it again, and Dixie eats them up. They push him back into the end zone, but forward progress will give him about 1 and give him a 3rd and 7. Definite passing play.
Yeah, they try to run that off tackle again, and it's going nowhere. Those linemen down there, boy, those guys, I don't know what they eat for dinner, but it must be huge and mean and ornery because they're stingy down there, Mike.
I heard once that they eat at Chili's before the game. I thought we were going to be eating at Chili's at halftime, but somebody didn't quite pull through with that, but we won't call anybody names.
Yeah, Mike, Chili's, one of our corporate sponsors, do a great job.
And the pass goes incomplete as they did bring in Abel again on the throwing downs. Shuffling quarterbacks is Scottsdale, and to no avail. 4th and 7. And the Artichokes will be standing against the end zone line to punt this away. And we'll see if Cole can get a run back here.
I don't think Cole's going to fair catch this one, Mike. I think he's going to run it out.
Ouch.
Oh, it's not going to get to him.
Just stay away from it, Dixie. Just stay away, and they do. And it's down at the 35. Dixie with excellent field position. The wind has, well, pretty much subsided now. If we can look at the flags, they're pretty much limp. 35-6, Dixie College on top. 7:46 to go in the third quarter. No scoring thus far after halftime.
Yeah, Mike Butler, their punter, had 5 punts the first half. He averaged 37.6. His longest was 43 yards, and we've seen his negative punt on the kneel down. So not doing a bad job punting the ball.
That's, oh my word, is that who I think it is? It is, number 30.